Okay, so this is an alternative tool called OnlineGDB that you can use to write your programs if you're not interested in installing the Visual Studio, or maybe you're on a Mac and you're not interested in any of those options that you have for the Mac. You can use this web-based tool, which is nice because you don't have to install anything. All you have to do is get online and start coding. It does have some minor limitations, but nothing that should hold us back in this class. Like some of the cute things we do in class, like colors, that's not going to work in this environment, but that's never required of you actually. That's just for fun. So all of the required code that we have to do should run okay in this environment. So basically all you have to do is go to onlinegdb.com. I'll make sure you have that link. And what it'll do is start you with a simple program, a simple Hello World application. Now what I want you to do is make sure you just delete that right off the bat. This code that it starts you with is actually not the same style of code that we use in our class. And in the beginning especially, your eye isn't going to be trained to notice those subtle differences. So just wipe it out. And we're going to, I'm going to paste in one of a program that is more typical of what we would do in our class. So this is the code that you'll be seeing a lot of in the coming weeks. And so here's my C++ application. And very importantly, over here, I have already chosen the C++ language. Notice there are many languages you could use with this tool. So you have to make sure you specify C++, and it's not that there's nothing going to be selected to begin with. So if you click the run button, you try to run your code and you don't see anything. Let's see if it, I can't unselect that. If you don't see, if it seems like it's frozen and you're not seeing any results and nothing's running and it's just completely non-responsive, you look over here in the upper right. It's probably prompting you to select a language. So I'll go ahead and run this. And, this is another minor drawback, is because it's online and this code is going over the internet and, being compiled and translated over the internet, there is going to be a little bit of a delay. It may not be as fast as if you had a program installed on your machine at home. So, so there it is, my Hello World application. Now, let's say this was a homework assignment and I wanted to save it. I could hit the save button. Okay, now I'm going to be prompted to log in if you're not already logged in. So you're log in with a Google account or Facebook or whatever. If you don't have a Google account, go ahead and make one just for this. And I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And I will name this project Dawn's Homework Assignment. Okay. I typically do not put spaces in my file names. I don't put special characters like an apostrophe or anything like that. So just like so. Okay. And at this point, if I wanted to download it, I could download it here, but I want to show you this area. This is the My Projects area. Okay. I already have some garbage built up here. Maybe I'll clean up a little bit. I just deleted that one. But here's the program that I just saved, okay, Dawn's Homework Assignment, and I can download it from here as well as the front end when you saw in the blue button just a couple seconds ago. But anyway, one thing I want you to be careful of, you might be tempted to be like, okay, I want to get back to that code, and you click the back button here of your browser, and look at this. Now I'm back to that code that I wanted you to delete. It like starts you with a brand new code file. So the back button is probably going to be pretty useless while you're working in this tool. But if you want to get back to your code, you can just always go to that My Projects area and click on the code file there, and that'll open that right up. Okay, so I'm going to download this. Okay, this is one thing I don't care for about this tool. It wants to name every code file that you download, it wants to name main.cpp. And I mean, that's not the end of the world, but if you want to be organized and you want all of your code files to have different names, meaningful names, you're going to have to download them and then immediately rename them. So I just downloaded that. And I think I already had a main.cpp on my desktop. I'll take you there right now. And it was overwritten. This was, oh, actually, no, I had renamed that one That was from a previous program that I had. So this is the one that just came down. Okay, so I would typically just rename that right away. Okay, you don't have to go with such a long name, but this is the CPP file with the CPP extension. And that is the file that I'm always going to want from you. That's the file with your code in it that I will be able to grade. So always that CPP file. One thing I will mention is if you have a setup at home, especially Windows, if you have a setup where you don't see file extensions, like this, I see the CPP extension. This is a text file here. I see the TXT extension. This is a Microsoft document or a Word document. I see the DOCX extension. If you don't see file extensions, you should change that because if you're taking any serious computing class, you need to be able to see those file extensions. So here's how you can do it. Just go to like your, open up any Explorer window with the yellow folder. Okay, and then if you go to the View tab up there, just make sure this is checked, file name extensions. You only have to do that once, and then you're always going to see those file extensions. You need to be seeing file extensions. Okay, so bringing this back, I think that's about it. One thing I will mention is, some of the, as I said, some things that we do, especially in the beginning, are not going to work necessarily. There's this thing called escape sequences. So for example, now this will work, the new line escape sequence. If I throw in a \n, that's a new line escape sequence, and that will work here. But some escape sequences, like the cute ones, the smiley face, the heart, those are not going to work in this tool, which is fine. You can do without those. But here, for example, \02 is the smiley face, which would work in the Visual Studio, and you're not going to see a smiley face here. Okay, you might be able to actually, now if you're dying to make a smiley face, let's try a Unicode character. If I do \U, I believe it's 263A. Let me try that. We'll see if we get a smiley face. See, again, there's that delay. Oh yeah, I did get a smiley face there. Okay, so I guess when there's a will, there's a way. But maybe I'll post the Unicodes somewhere if you want to make a smiley face or a heart or something. I add these in because there's not a lot of visual stimulation in this class with the C++ language. It's just these kind of black and white console apps. So anything we can do to kind of make it a little more interesting is fine. But anyway, so there you have it. And again, just getting back to, I'll always want that CPP file as your homework assignment so I can grade it. And then, like in the My Projects, everything you do for the, let me make sure I save that. Everything you do for class is just going to be, it's just going to pile up in here, which is fine. Then you always have your work there, and your old programs if you need to go back to them and look at a specific technique or something. So this is a good alternative if you're not interested in installing the Visual Studio.